Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another Left Turn Workshop tutorial. Very sorry today. I have a very bad sinus infection, so my voice sounds a little terrible. But I'm going to try to get through this ASAP. Today, what we want to do is basically take some Unreal Engine animations, bring them over into iClone in order to customize them, fix them up a little bit, and then bring them back into Unreal Engine. So, the deal is we created this character here, Entropy, inside of Character Creator 4. Okay, we exported her, brought her over into the program, got her up and running with some the stock Unreal Engine mannequin animations, and now what we want to do is start customizing the character. So I got this animation pack, right? Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can bring it up. Okay, it's the two assets powerful sword pack by Gruzum. It's pretty cool. I like the great sword. I think I'm going to use it actually with a baseball bat. Should be pretty cool. However, it is going to take a little bit of work to make these animations kind of fit the character. So that's what we're going to do today. All right. So if you look over here, okay, I've got the fast running animation pulled up over here. So this is what it's going to look like when we apply this to the character. Now there are ways that we could do this inside of Unreal. We could, create the IK rig for this mannequin or this iteration of the mannequin, and then create a retargeter to bring those animations over to Entropy. And there's a lot of things that we could do inside of Unreal. However, I find that feet tend to be a little weird when we do the retargeting. I think maybe this is an Unreal Engine 5 thing, and it might very well be my lack of total understanding of the control rig system. But what I do know is that I can bring these animations over into iClone and make them work perfectly, and also spice them up a little bit with some facial animations and yeah, well, one problem that you have sometimes is that your character's proportions are a little different than the mannequin, and so you end up with a little bit of clipping when you retarget. And we can kind of avoid that by doing a little custom work inside of iClone. So, that said, I'm going to go over into the map, and right down here, I've already exported a couple of these. I don't know, the intro, the idle, the walk, the jog. So here I am down at the running, and this is all that I do, all right? All I got to do is select these two, okay, that I want to export, the Greatsword Run Fast version A and the Greatsword Run version A. Both of these are in-place animations, so there's no root motion, and that's why I'm actually using these, because I'm going to put these into the state machine for the character's basic animation. I'm going to create a blend space, okay, in order to kind of smoothly shift between these animations. And so to get started, I'm just going to right click, okay, asset actions. I'm going to go down to bulk export since I'm exporting two. Okay, if I was just exporting one, I would go to just export, but I'm going to go to bulk export. And here in the Great Sword animation, I'm going to select that folder. Okay, I created that folder on my desktop. Okay, and I'm just going to click on export all. Okay, and that said, I can actually close up this project and move over into iClone. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are in Character Creator 4. This is the character that we've created. This is the Entropy character. And what we want to do is actually send this character over to iClone, all right? Because it's in iClone that we're going to be importing the animations, converting them from the sort of Unreal Engine skeleton, the standard mannequin skeleton, to the CC3 plus skeleton or the game-based skeleton. And this is how we're going to be able to basically start customizing the thing. So what we want to do is just go up here to where it says IC, which stands for iClone. Okay, and there's a little arrow, and this is just basically to send the character to iClone. So we do that, and it's going to, if you don't have iClone open already, it's going to open up iClone. And if you do, it's going to basically start loading the stream. This is how we send that character over. And there we go. All right, so now we've got our character here in iClone, looking pretty good. Now, one thing that I definitely want to make sure of is that the kind of that the arm space is correct, right? So I'm going to have this character wielding a baseball bat in the game, and so what I'm going to do is just basically I got this little freebie baseball bat here that goes in the right hand. So I'm just going to add that to the scene and use that as kind of a place marker for the thing. If I didn't have a bat, I could actually use like a primitive. I could create a cylinder. I could, you can use basically anything that you want. We just want to make sure that when she runs, for instance, she's not going to be the bat's not going to be clipping through her head or anything like that. So this is really just a reference, but it is kind of an important thing to have in there. So I'm just going to double click on that, and it'll pop up right in there or in the vicinity of her hand. I can scale that up around. I can move the exact position. Okay. Maybe I'll do that once we actually start posing the character. Okay, so alrighty, so now we have our character inside of iClone. First thing I'm going to do is go into the create menu, and what I want to do is create a floor because I'm very concerned about foot contact. All right, I want to make sure that the feet are always making contact with the floor, and currently they are. Okay, we can see that right there. Okay, the base of the foot is basically lined up along the bottom of that the floor. Now, in order to make sure that I'm going to continue making that foot contact, what I'm going to do is go over and select the base plus character in the scene outliner. Okay, and I want to make sure that I've got foot contact selected. Okay. And what this means is that when, if I adjust the position of the character, okay, it's going to read that the foot is making contact, and it's actually going to start bending the limbs using the kind of the IK chains that exist that connect the bones in order to give us kind of some realistic movement. And this is really important because one of the problems that we can have that we end up having with some of the Unreal animations is that the foot position is just kind of wrong, and so we need to make an adjustment. All right, so let's get started. Let's start importing some of these animations. So I'm going to go over into my animations content tab. And I'm going to go over to custom. Okay, and over here in custom, I'm going to go down to animation, motion, and I'm just going to kind of create a subfolder here. I'm going to call this Great Sword. Okay. Click on OK, and now I have this Great Sword. Okay, right there. Cool. Now let's go ahead and bring in those animations. All right, so I'm going to go up to File, Import, and I'm going to Convert External Motion. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to go over into my desktop folder for the Great Sword. Okay. And sorry, as we could see here, let me go into this animations, Great Sword, movements, run. Okay. So I've got my fast runs here. Okay. So I'm just going to select those two, first of all. Okay. And I'm going to click on Open. And for the motion profile, we'll see that we have the option to choose Unreal Base Character. And that's because iClone actually knows what the Unreal base characters, what their skeleton is supposed to look like. All right. So it looks at the names of the bones, identifies this as an Unreal base character, and we can now select that. If you choose CC Game, it's going to come in all screwed up. Okay, it's not going to work correctly. So make sure you choose Unreal base character. And then I'm also going to go ahead and change the place that these are going to be saved. Okay, so I've got animation, motion, external motion. Well, I want that to be the Great Sword subfolder that I just created. Okay, I'm going to keep the FBX import settings to 60 samples per second. And that root bone, that is what I'm going to use. So now I'm going to convert all. Okay. And right over here now, we can kind of see I've got these two animations. Okay. So if I double click on it, it adds the animation into the timeline, and I can play it back. okay? Now, if I want to loop it, and I certainly do since this is a looping animation, I'm going to go ahead, go to the last frame, and click on Set End Frame. And then up here, okay, I can actually set the animation to loop. So now if I go back to the end, I hit play, okay, I'm going to continue to see this thing going over and over and over again. And we can kind of see that the sword here is, or the baseball bat rather, is hanging off there to the side. It's a little weird. But like I said, we could move the sword if we want to, but honestly, it's really just there as a reference for me. So I'm not going to worry too much about it on this particular animation. And the important thing that I want to take a look at is the foot contact, okay? And what I can see here is that the foot is ever so slightly above the ground, okay? And that is not what I want to see happening. So, actually there, it does look like it's making contact. All right, so if I want to make sure that the foot is in fact making contact, all right, I'm going to go to the absolute first frame, okay? Frame number 1. And I'm going to make sure that my CC3 base plus character is selected. And I'm going to scroll down here to transform, okay? And I'm just going to click down on the Z, okay? And you can see that the foot is kind of moving down, right? You can also see that the ankle begins to bend as we continue to go down. That's telling me that we've gone too far, right? Because what's happening is the ankle is now beginning to bend on the basis of those sort of IK chains that have been set up. So I'm going to go and move that up a little bit. Okay. I just want to get it so that it's nice and flat, right? I think right around -2 looks pretty good. Okay. So now when she runs, that foot is going to continually make contact with the floor. Okay. All right, next up. We've got her face. All right. That's all right. However, I don't know. She looks a little too happy, right? I think she should be looking a bit more determined, right? So, what I'm going to do now is go over to the modify, okay, and modify the animation panel, okay? I'm going to scroll down to where it says face key, okay? I'm going to bring this up. This gives me a bunch of different ways that I can actually adjust the expression on the character, okay? I can do it by manipulating the muscles, the muscle groups on the face directly. I've also got sort of built-in expressions that I can use, okay? So I might go over to angry, for instance, and let's see if I want her to look a little unhappy but determined. Maybe I could find something in here that I like, and let's do it. Let's go with A8 angry. See how that works. That's pretty good. I like that. That looks nice. Okay. And so she will now have that expression. Okay. Over the duration of the animation. And we can check that by going down and looking at the expression. Okay. If we tick off expression, we can see that we've set that keyframe right there at the beginning. And so we've now got that whole thing. If we wanted to animate the expression, I could go up to face key, okay, and maybe add a second one. That was anger, A8 angry. So I add one right there, and now I've got, you know, an entire expression clip that's here, okay? And so maybe right around here, maybe in the middle, I'll go over to the face key, go back to angry. Maybe I'll get one where her mouth is just a little bit open, right? Or maybe something like that. Something like C1 angry. Double click on that, right? And now what happens is we animate, right? The mouth kind of opens, closes, opens, closes. And that'll happen on every single loop, right? So we get a little facial expression going on there, right? Sounds pretty cool. Now, like I said, the bat is in kind of the correct position for this one, so I'm actually feeling pretty good about this animation. So now what I want to do is basically save this, and I want to be able to export this now into Unreal Engine. And the way that I'm going to do that is by collecting the clip. Okay, so there's this little track that we have up here, and it's kind of strange. You just kind of click on here at the first frame that you want, and then you drag it all the way out to the end, okay? And what I'm going to do now is basically right-click on it, and what I want to do is add Motion Plus to the library. And this is really important because it's the Motion Plus that's going to get us stuff like the facial expressions, okay? If I don't save as Motion Plus, I'm not going to get the facial expressions. So I'm going to go ahead, add Motion Plus, and as you can see, got motion, facial animation, visible data, etc. Okay, so I'm going to click on OK. And now what I'm going to do is go into my Motion Plus, and I'm going to call this, I don't know, Great Sword. Okay, double click on that, and let's call this Run Fast. I think that was the fast run. Yeah, Run Fast. Okay. And I'm going to save it. Okay. So now if I go back into my my animations, I can now go into Motion Plus. Here's Great Sword, and I should theoretically be able to find my animation there. Okay. There is my Run Fast. Don't know why I have to move it in there. Kind of weird. Okay, but there it is. Alrighty. Okie doke. So as you can see, if I now were to clear out this animation and get rid of it entirely, right? Get rid of all that stuff. Okay, get rid of the transform keyframe, get rid of all that stuff. All right. Now I apply that animation, and you can see we're doing it. Okay, we got the facial animation and everything else. Now, if we export this from Character Creator 4, we can actually add this Motion Plus animation to our export list and send it directly over into Unreal. So I'm gonna do this on a couple other ones, and I will rejoin you here in just a couple of minutes. Okie doke. So here's an example of a motion where we're probably going to want to make a couple minor changes, okay, to the actual animation. So right now, if I look, yeah, I got the baseball bat. It's basically going to be clipping kind of through the back. So what I'm going to do is rotate the wrist just a little bit so that we get the bat sort of a little bit further from her back while still looking, more or less like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop playback. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first frame of this animation. And what I'm going to do is edit the motion layer. Okay, now it's going to bring up this sort of kind of sorry everybody. God, I'm really not feeling my best today. Kind of a stylized image of the character here. What we want to do is find the wrist that is actually holding the thing, right? So that's going to be the right wrist, which is right over here. Okay, so we select that. I'm going to go over to rotate. Okay, and I am just going to rotate the wrist a little bit until the bat is kind of in a nicer position. Okay, so that it's not going to be penetrating the character. Okay, so once I do that, okay, we've basically automatically set a keyframe, and so if I go ahead and play, okay, that is simply going to stay because it's adding that information to the character. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I already have my feet down -2 on the z-axis, so I'm getting nice floor contact there. Everything is looking pretty good. I also, let me go ahead, I'll add an expression here as well. So let me just go into face key. I'm going to go over to my first frame. Let's see, let's go ahead, grab some angry. I was using a 8. Okay, so I'm going to do that on the first frame. I'm going to do that on the last frame. Then midway through here, maybe we'll make something that looks a little angrier, right? I don't know if I want the mouth open so much. What looks nice? Well, no, that's a little too much. I think maybe the scrunched eyebrow, right? There we go. Cool. All right, so that looks pretty cool. All right, and so now that I've got that entire clip here for the idle, I'm just going to go to collect clip. Again, add the motion plus to the library. Use the default selections there. I'm going to save this as idle. And for whatever reason, it's saving is to the parent. Okay, I don't know why. It's saving it to motion plus instead of motion plus greatsword. So I'm just going to grab the idle there and drag it over into greatsword. Click on OK. All right, and there we have it. So now again, I could just kind of get rid of these animations. Okay, I could get rid of that and add the idle, and everything would look pretty good. All right, so let me just go ahead and finish up the rest of these. But that's how you would do it, all right? That's how you would actually go about just adjusting sort of a bone in order to make the animation work with your character's morphology, you know, with the character's shape, okay? Very, very simple. And once you get used to doing it, man, you can knock these out pretty quickly. Okay, so now I've got basically my animation set up. I got my idle, jogging, run fast, also a walk. All right, so now I want to get these back into Unreal Engine. So I'm going to go back to a character creator. I could theoretically do this out of iClone, but I find I kind of like the results that I get out of character creator a little better. So I'm just going to go down to export, FBX, clothed character. Make sure that I've got my Unreal Engine preset. And now instead of mesh and motion, I am just going to export the motion. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to custom. Okay. I'm going to untick first frame is bind pose. Okay. And I'm going to go to open file. And what I want to do is basically go and find those motion plus files, okay, that I just created. Okay. So I'm going to animation, motion plus, greatsword. And here are those motion plus files that I just created. So I'm going to select them all, click on open, okay, and now I've got this list of the animations that are going to be exported. Now, if I wanted to, I could create a bunch of different files, save one motion per file. I don't think that that's what I'm going to do this time. Okay, all I'm going to do is export these as one big file, and I'm going to click on export. Okay. And let's see, I'm just going to call this, I'm going to save this right here. And I'm going to save that as entropy, which is the name of the character, underscore locomotion, underscore greatsword. Okay, now I'm going to click on save. Okay, and it will export this very, very quickly since it's really only exporting the motion. Okay. And now it is time to crack open Unreal. So go over to the project. If you've got your character, we're just going to go ahead and open up that Unreal project. Okay, so here I am inside of Unreal Engine. This is going to be the project that I am working on at the moment. Okay, so as we can see, we've got the character is in here set up. They're currently making use of the third-person animation set, right? That comes directly with the mannequin. But we've got the IK set up and getting some nice movement on the feet and what have you. So let's go ahead and import these animations. Now, the key here is to remember that our character, okay, has actually got her own skeleton, okay, entropy skeleton, right? And so that's kind of important. So let's go ahead. I'm going to create a new folder. I've got characters, entropy, animations, and this is where I stuck the Unreal Engine 5 animation. I'm just going to create a new one, new folder. We'll call it Great Sword. Okay, and inside there, I'm going to import right into this folder. Okay, and now what I want to do is locate, okay, those files that I just had. Oh, where did I export those? I didn't export those there. Sorry. Just give me half a second. Let me find them. Okay, there we go. Characters, entropy, unreal, blah, blah, blah. All right, and here's the entropy, locomotion, greatsword motions that we just imported. And as you can see, it's an FBX file. So we're just going to click on open. Okay, and the most important thing that we need to do is make sure that we set the skeleton to be the entropy skeleton. Okay, we don't want to import the mesh at all. Okay, we do want to import our animations. We want to use animated time, and we want to make sure that we set the custom sample rate to 60. Okay, if we do that, we should basically be in business. Okay. So that said, let's just go ahead and click on import or import all. And here we have it. Okay. So there are our animations. Okay. And if we look close, right, we'll see sort of the, the facial animation that we set up there before, right? So everything is looking pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so in order to make use of these, we're going to want to crack open our animation blueprint, right? And the remember that we kind of set this up so that we're using kind of a parent blueprint, right? We're using the Manny blueprint as kind of the main blueprint that we're using, and then we set up sort of the Quinn blueprint to be the entropy blueprint, right? So what I'm going to do is double click on the entropy blueprint. Okay, to open this one up. Okay, because when you work on a child animation blueprint, you basically, you don't add stuff directly into the animation graph. What you do instead is you override information from that animation graph. And so currently, for instance, okay, we've got our locomotion state machine, we've got the idle state, and the animation that's being played is mm_idle. And what we want to do is change that, right? We want to use the new idle that we just created. So I'm going to type underscore entropy locomotion greatsword motion idle, okay? And this is what I am going to play instead. So I select that, and I click on compile, and there we go. All right, now we got our character doing her thing. And so if I were to go ahead and hit play, okay, we would see that she's now in this idle state, right? That is her idle now. Okay? Now, if we want to change the walk cycle, all right, we're going to have to do a little bit more work, okay? Because if I go over into the parent animation blueprint, I go over to the locomotion, I go over to the walk run, all right, you'll see that what we're using here is actually a blend space, okay? BSMM_walk run, okay? And that is right over here. If I go into the asset browser, there it is, BSMM_walk run, okay? So I'm going to double click that to open it. All right. And this is what a blend space is. Okay. We got a little chart. This is a simple one. This is 1D, one-dimensional blend space. And what it means is that we're getting one particular value. In this case, it's speed. Okay. And depending on what this value is, depending on how fast she's going, we're going to blend between different animations. So in the default thing here, we've got this sort of a walking in space thing, place thing. We've got the walk forward, and we've got running forward. Okay. Now you see this little green X that tells us where we're previewing, what our preview speed is. So if I hit Control and just move my cursor along here, okay, we will actually change the animations that are being played. Okay, so that is pretty cool. All right. So, all right. So, what do I want to do with this? I'm going to go back to my third-person animation thing. I'm going to go into my UE5 mannequin things, which is where I basically created these retargeted animations. Okay. And here you will find the blend space walk run. Okay, this is the one that we actually want to change. Now I'm just going to duplicate it just to keep things nice and tidy. Okay, and I'm just going to call this BP entropy walk run. Okay, you can double click on that, and now what I'm going to do is actually get rid of these animations. Goodbye, goodbye. Okay, and instead what we're going to use are the animations that we just created and cleaned up there in, in iClone. Okay, so I know that the fastest run that I have is this run fast, so I'm going to drop this all the way over on this side. Okay, and if I were to go over there now, you'll see this is her running fast with her big old baseball bat. Okay, I'm going to set run to right around here. Okay, then we've got a jogging. I'm going to set that right around there. Okay, and I'm going to set walking all the way back here at the beginning. Except first I'm going to get rid of that walk and bring that right over here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to click on save and get rid of that. And over here, now, if I go back into the entropy blueprint, animation blueprint, I'm going to go back to my asset overrides, back to my animation graph. And if I go into this locomotion for the walk run, let's just change this blend space to entropy walk run. Okay. Click on compile. Now we can close that. And here we go. Looks a little goofy because she should be moving a lot faster. I think that I also might, one thing that I would do since it's a female character, I might go ahead, the run looks a bit, well, frankly, it looks a little masculine. The way that the legs are parted in the back, a little nutty. So one thing that I might do is over in iClone, I could go back there and maybe adjust the sort of separation of the legs, right? And close that up a little bit, make it look a little less like she has to go to the bathroom. But there you go. All right, but that ultimately is kind of the workflow. Okay, I mean, like, getting the animations to look their best is of course an art form, right? But as we can see, we're running around here. We're maintaining our foot contact because we fixed all the foot contact information there in iClone. Okay, we've set up our blend space. I think I would probably go in and adjust the speed at which some of this stuff is happening, right? So if I went into that blend space that we just created, right? Where is it? Entropy walk run, right? Maybe I would have her entering the run a bit sooner, okay? Or maybe have her get up to the run fast, a little bit faster. Let's see if I put jog down there and run over there. Okay. Okay. Well, that just sort of I don't know, gets things moving a little bit quicker once she starts running, right? Well, that's not bad. The other thing that I'd absolutely do is that the character is actually moving too slow, I think, for the animation that we've got. And so there would be two options, right? One would be to sort of slow down the animation. But I think in this case, I hate slow characters. Drives me nuts. So I think that what I would do is go into my blueprint, my player base blueprint. Okay, go down to my character movement, and over here where we've got our max walk speed, we're currently set to around 500. I think that I would bump that up considerably. Might go up to 700. Might be a little bit too fast. Let's see. Oops. Okay. At least now it looks a little bit more like the speed that the character is moving at is actually being represented here, you know? So at 700, it looks to me, to my eye, a little more natural. I'm a little happier with that look than with the other look. So there you go. All right. So that's kind of how you can go ahead and use iClone to customize your animations. Like I said, it is an art. It is not simply a science. There's a lot that goes into making sure that those animations look good. But that's how you do it. And I hope that you found this helpful. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And hopefully the next time I talk to you, I won't have quite such a head cold to be fighting against. Sorry about that, everybody. Talk to you soon. This has been Left Turn Workshop. See you later. Bye bye.